Wanted to do a quick video on post-COVID recovery. So, healthcare providers have their hands full caring for people who have the coronavirus. And not only that, dealing with everything else. I mean, people are still sick with whatever they were sick with before COVID started. So, as we see on the TV, hospitals are full. Um, Healthcare providers are overwhelmed. So what don't ever get talked about is post-COVID recovery, post-COVID syndrome, lingering symptoms. So you contract the virus, and then you go through either a mild case of it or a severe case of it. And the only difference between a mild and severe, in my opinion, is whether you go in the hospital or not. And then you recover and you try to resume your normal life. You even may retest and get a test back that says it's negative. Then you realize you have lingering symptoms. Even a mild case of COVID-19 can come with some pretty miserable symptoms. And some of those symptoms linger. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. So what are the symptoms of post-COVID syndrome? Just as COVID-19 itself can come with a range of symptoms, so too can post-COVID syndrome. And the most common symptoms that can linger include fatigue, difficulty breathing, joint pain, chest pain, brain fog, including the inability to concentrate and impaired memory, loss of taste or smell, and sleep issues. And one I want to add to this list that's not there is acid reflux. So after my bout with COVID, I joined a recovery group because I had so many questions and I just couldn't keep contacting my doctor's office for this, that, and the other. So I joined a recovery group so I can answer questions and get questions answered from others who recovered from COVID. And they were talking about, among other things, someone asked, anyone else dealing with acid reflux? And it hit me because I said, well, wow, it seems like lately I've been having this problem with acid reflux. I've never had this issue before. And when they said that, I realized that's one of my lingering symptoms. I have others every now and then. Wow, this week is the first week that it hasn't happened. But every now and then, just out of the blue on a day, my temperature would spike just a little, go up just a little, and I not feel well. And then, maybe the next day I'll sleep it off, and maybe the next day it'll go off. And I just remembered that hasn't happened this week, thank God, and hopefully my lingering symptoms is maybe going away. But you can have all of these lingering symptoms, including some others that's not listed here, or one or two, or none at all. But I do want people to know that this happened just in case you're recovering from COVID or have a family member or someone close to you recovering from COVID and they say to you, I just don't feel well. Let them know that there is a such thing as COVID syndrome or post-COVID syndrome, these lingering symptoms. Usually, those who seem to be most at risk of developing post-COVID syndrome includes adults over the age of 50, people who experience a more severe case of COVID. And like I said earlier, COVID in itself is severe. Unless you're asymptomatic, COVID itself is severe. But the difference is if you're able to recover at home, you're still going through all the pain and coughing and cold symptoms and maybe lose your taste, maybe lose your smell, maybe lose both. So you're still going through all of those symptoms, but you don't have any serious respiratory problems or need of oxygen. So you're considered a mild case. If you have to go in the hospital and get a little oxygen, you probably still considered a mild case. But when you have to go in and you have to be treated and maybe even go on a respirator, severe. So you still don't get it wrong when somebody say they had a mild case. That does not mean they wasn't sick. I lost my sense of smell, and I thought I had, some days I think, okay, it's back because I can smell some things very strong, but sometimes it seems to come and go. And sometimes, like, for example, 2 bars of soap, I can smell one very strong and can't smell the other at all. So it's little weird things like that that happen, and that's not too big of a deal. I can deal with acid reflux. I can deal with the smell, coming and going. Hopefully, it eventually comes back the way it was before. But that's just an example. I have one friend who contracted the virus the same time I did, and she has severe headaches. Another person that I know that is not a friend, but I just know them, they still get very tired. They need a lot of rest. They do activity, work, or whatever, and then they need a lot of rest, so they get tired easily. So you have these lingering symptoms. Individuals with underlying health conditions, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, any type heart problems, they tend to have lingering symptoms. So with that, it makes you wonder what was there before and what is the cause of COVID. Now, I know that the acid reflux, it was not there before. I never had problems with it before at all. So I know that's one of the results. In the sense of loss of sense of smell, I know that's, a lingering symptom. I also have like some brain fog, and that part is kind of like, okay, what was here before? Because sometimes before I had some memory issues, because sometimes my mind is overloaded and I just can't remember stuff. But now sometimes it seems like more of a brain fog. So that's one of those things. I don't know whether that's a lingering symptom or just something that was always there before. My kids say, Mom, it was there before, but I don't know. But anyway, what should you do if you experience post-COVID syndrome? What should you do? Because I said earlier, the doctor's office, healthcare professionals, they are already overwhelmed. You can't hardly get into the doctor's office for an appointment. What should you do? Well, for those who experience only a mild illness and self-treated at home, but are now dealing with post-COVID syndrome, this doctor recommends scheduling an appointment with your primary care physician. I didn't do that because mine is not really a big deal. If the acid reflux get any worse, I will. But other than that, I'm not. My friend with those headaches, I suggested that she definitely have that checked on. Your doctor can diagnose the severity of your lingering symptoms, helping to treat the ones that are mild and referring you to a specialist for the ones that's more advanced. If you were hospitalized for more severe symptoms during your illness, you may already have a cardiologist. You can follow up with about your heart issues such as chest pains, and the word pulmonologist. I shouldn't even tried it. You can check in to address any lung issues such as difficulty breathing. So if you're still having some problems with your respiratory lung issues and stuff like that, you should definitely be seen by a specialist. So that's the information that I wanted to share on that. Hopefully those who, like I said before, who's had COVID or had a loved one who's had COVID or anything like that will see this video. And hopefully it will help them if you don't already know. My other suggestion would be to join a group. I joined a Facebook group called Post Recovery or something like that. I don't know the name of it, but anyway, I joined a group. I don't want to tell y'all the name of it, but I basically joined a group, and that helps me. Sometimes I'm there to encourage and answer questions, and sometimes I get questions answered. And I wish I would have screenshot some of the questions that people ask. They even ask about questions concerning mental. Some people have issues going out in public. They're afraid. Just to reveal a little bit about myself, I get in my car and I go riding all the time just to get out the house. But I stay safely in my car. On Saturday was the first day that I was able to force myself to go into a grocery store. And when I tell you, Saturday was cold here. Like We think 40 degrees here in North Carolina is cold, but it was about something like 40 degrees. That's cold for me. And I had broke out in a sweat because I was like, I got to go in this grocery store. I didn't have to. I can have my groceries delivered, but I had to get past my fear. So you deal with things like that. Some people were in the group was talking about dealing with survivor's guilt. Um, why did I make it? Why did I do okay and other people didn't? You see the numbers of how many people have COVID, and then you see the numbers of how many people lost their lives. So people deal with those things, just different mental things that we're able to talk about, and encourage each other. Now, one of the things I do like about the group is that the person who created the group, once a week, she'll come in and say something positive, about your journey. And I like that because it keeps us from becoming complainers and victims, or with a victim mentality type thing. So I do like that she do that. Anyway, my video that I wanted to remain to be short, because I like my videos to be short and to the point. It's becoming long now. So again, I did this video to encourage those who may be going through it. You have a loved one who's going through it. Check on them. They may not be saying anything to you about what they're feeling internally, but ask them, you have any lingering feelings, lingering symptoms, you have anything you want to talk about? Don't go in too far. But I'm just saying, check on your people. Sometimes people don't say anything. Okay, so this is Miss Cruiser. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, everyone, be safe. Please be safe in the coming days with everything going on with this, the inaugurations that's about to happen, and with this virus still out here, numbers growing. Please be safe. This is Miss Cruiser. Please like, share, and subscribe.